Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling this transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We control the horizontal, and we control the vertical. For the next few minutes, sit quietly, and we will control all that you see and hear. We are about to open your mind to the Arizal, the Ari-Hakodesh. New souls. Everyone who has a new soul must fulfill the 613 mitzvot by action, by word, and by thought. As the rabbi said, he who studies the laws regarding the sacrifice of Allah is as if he has sacrificed it, and so too with thought. If one did not fulfill everything in the three aspects, he must be reincarnated until he fulfills them. One must fulfill the 613 mitzvot, and if a person is missing one mitzvah, his soul is not complete. There are mitzvot related to the temple that do not apply today, and for those he will not be reincarnated. But for the mitzvot that he can fulfill, like tzitzit and tefillin, if he does not fulfill them, he will be reincarnated repeatedly. There are mitzvot that he cannot fulfill unless Hashem brings them to him, like redeeming a firstborn son, the mitzvot of yibun and chalitza, procedures that involve the widows of men who had no children, or giving a get to his wife, whom he is not obligated to divorce unless there is a valid reason. But if he could have fulfilled them and did not, shall return by reincarnation. I am unsure regarding other mitzvot if a person is obligated to search them out to fulfill them, like installing a fence on the rooftop or sending away the mother bird from the nest, if the opportunity did not present itself to him. For example, if he was poor and could not buy a home. Whether in Ibur, short reincarnation would be sufficient for him, or if he will require a complete reincarnation. The 10 Martyrs. Rabbi Yehuda was wondering why the 10 sons of Yaakov were required to be reincarnated after they repented. It seems that for anyone who is liable for capital punishment by the Bet Din, such as the 10 brothers who sold Yosef and violated the verse, anyone who kidnaps a man and sells him, there is no tshuva for their sins, unless they are reincarnated in order to make amends for their deeds and die according to the crime. He was doubtful if this applies for this karet as well. According to this rule, the death of a pious man who sinned, repented, and died is not enough, and he must also be reincarnated. Although we learned that with a person who is liable to be put to death by Bet Din, tshuva, Yom Kippur, and suffering are enough. He was uncertain whether in the case of a person who did not suffer, death would suffice without reincarnation. Rabbi Azariah ben Samai replied, death atones, and there is no need for reincarnation. However, sometimes the pious did not do proper tshuva until they received some punishment after death without reincarnation, and they hence received their punishment in the heavens above and in the valleys below. Rabbi Azariah saw Rabbi Yehuda's face become sad when he wanted to know about the death of the 10 martyrs, whether their death was due to Yosef being sold to non-Jews, because even if the 10 martyrs were guilty and deserved the punishment of reincarnation, they were not supposed to be given to evil forces. Rabbi Azariah told him that even though they were killed by the evil forces, the impurity nevertheless did not control them, because their Torah protected them, as Torah never becomes impure. Terach, reincarnated as Job. Hashem appeared to him in the grove of Mamre. This verse brings the initials of Job and Yavan. Job was the son of a Yevamah, of a woman whose first husband had died without children, and he was the child of the husband's brother. Hashem told Avraham, you shall come to your father in peace. Hashem informed Avraham that his father Terach, who was an idol worshiper, would do tshuva. Hashem took out the sun from its sheath, which refers to purgatory. Avraham was sitting at the door of his tent, which refers to the gates of purgatory. Now that he is circumcised, Avraham does not allow anyone who was also circumcised and did not defile himself with a non-Jewish woman to enter purgatory. Avraham caused his father to be reincarnated, and Terach came at the level of a woman, and she was a Yevamah, And then Terach returned as Job and lived during the life of Itsak. He did not take the advice of his friend until he heard the words of Elihu the son of Brachal, who was Itsak, the son of Avraham. This is why his name was Job, meaning to say he was the father of Avraham, considered himself dust in front of Hashem. The Pact with Avraham. Hashem told Avraham, "Know for certain that your seed shall be a stranger in a land which is not theirs." Why did it say, "And the fourth generation shall come hither again"? What type of good news is this, when his father is still an idolater who sells idols? A goldsmith knows how to bang his hammer on gold and collect all of the sparks of gold and use them. This is what our sages write when they ask whether or not we say a bracha on fallen fruit. One who says that we do not bless believes that once they were spread out, they belong to the Itzara. And the opposing view says that we do bless because gold never loses its status, and it always returns to its original value. And Hashem is the one who collects them in order to bless over them. With this in mind, we will understand when Hashem told Avraham, "Know of a surety that your seed shall be a stranger in a land which is not theirs. Afterwards they will go out with great sustenance." Avraham asked how it was possible that Terach would do tshuva after all of his great sins. This is why Hashem told him, "You shall return to your parents," and informed Avraham that his father would do tshuva, as it says, "And the fourth generation shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites will not be full until then." Job was among them and was not complete, and then it says he was a complete man, that he finished his rectification. The evil forces said that he belongs to. This is why it says, "And Israel, now the great power which Hashem had shown to the Egyptians, and the people feared Hashem, and they believed in Hashem, and in Moshe, his servant." First they were called Israel, then a nation, to hint that Israel was so rectified and purified in Egypt in order that he would give them the Torah. The tribe of Levi was not subjugated to Paro, and he let them study Torah, because Torah amends everything. The Tikkun in Mitzrayim. The main mode of amendment depends on Torah study. All souls that were enslaved in Mitzrayim were sparks of souls that went out and returned and were amended by Torah. This is the spark of Job, who was the reincarnation of Terach, as it says, the man who feared God. This refers to Job at the splitting of the Yam Suf. The Satan said, "Both people are idol worshippers," to hint about Terach, who caused them to sin and become corrupted. This is why Hashem said to the Satan, "He is all yours, but do not kill him," to hint that the sparks of his soul would be amended. The birth of Itsak. And Avraham was 100 years old when his son Itsak was born. Know that the strict judgment comes only after the power of mercy. Therefore Itsak, who was regarded as strict judgment, came to the world only after Avraham, who was regarded as the power of mercy, reached 100 years of age. Know that Adam and Chava sinned with their eyes, and they were reincarnated in Avraham and Itsak. Itsak came to rectify Aval, and Avraham to rectify Adam. This is alluded to in the verse. And Avraham called his newborn son Itsak, to hint that he had already been his son once, when they were Adam and Chava. His rectification was by Avraham sacrificing Itsak on the altar, the Akedah. For that reason, Itsak had to reach 37 years of age, which is the numerical value of the word Chavel in Hebrew. Avraham put right the sin of looking at the Shekhinah, and they thus went together with one purpose. Adam was reincarnated in Seth, in Aval, and in Noach. Abel was reincarnated as Itsak. Due to the sin of looking at the Shekhinah, Havel was killed, and Itsak extended his neck for slaughter. Therefore Hashem did not want to punish Itsak again, but waited until Itsak was old, when he became blind. Why was Sarah barren until the age of 90? A person is certain to sin. When Hashem cursed the snake, he said, "Upon your belly shall you go." So when a person sins, he gives strength to the snake. Sometimes the snake is drowned by the pious, and sometimes it is lifted by the wicked man.